All right, everybody, welcome to Monday morning. Rockland's News is back with all of the news that is important to you. First of all, it's in Haverstraw, 75 degrees, and there's a heat advisory out there expected until 12 noon. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m. It's not really going to be that hot, 78, 81, 82. It's going to top out at around 4 or 5 o'clock at 85 degrees. And we are going to have yet another warm day ahead of us. We're going to get more into the weather at the end of the podcast. But first of all, here is our Monday morning news live streamer, Robert Jowaiszas. Robert, take it away.
Good morning, Rocklanders, and welcome to Rockland News. I'm Robert Jowaiszas. Thank you for sharing part of your Monday morning with us. We truly appreciate you inviting us into your home, your car, wherever you're listening from right now. And thank you to everyone who continues to send your emails, story ideas, and community tips. Your voices help shape this program and help keep Rockland connected. Now let's get started with today's top stories. Ramapo police continue investigating a school bus crash that killed a 7-year-old Muncie girl. Officers were called shortly after 9 a.m. on July 8th to Blauvelt Road near Manor Drive after receiving a report that a pedestrian had been struck. The child was announced dead at the scene. Police said the full-size school bus was operated for Yeshiva Visnitz and driven by 28-year-old Muncie resident. The driver remained at the location and cooperated with investigators. Authorities reported no evidence of alcohol or drug impairment, and preliminary findings did not identify speed as a factor. No criminal charges had been filed. Now, this is a heartbreaking story for our entire community. Our thoughts are with the child's family, friends, and everyone impacted by this tragedy. It's a reminder that we all share the responsibility of watching out for one another and putting safety first. In another story, state police are investigating a fatal single vehicle crash on the Palisades Interstate Parkway in Rockland. Troopers responded at approximately 9:16 Thursday morning near mile marker 18.6 at exit 90. Investigators say a northbound Subaru traveled into the eastern shoulder and struck the guide rail. The driver, identified as 67-year-old Pomona resident Joseph Wolutz, who alone in the vehicle, passerby removed him from the Subaru before emergency personnel arrived. First responders performed life-saving measures, and Wolutz was transported to Montefiore Nyack Hospital, where he died from injuries. Police have not yet determined why the vehicle left the roadway. Another tragic reminder of how quickly life can change. We thank the first responders who rushed to help, and we remind everyone to slow down, stay alert, and make safety the priority every time we get behind the wheel. To our next story, tying into those two tragic stories, yesterday, Rockland News President Tom Osa hopped on Facebook Live to announce the Summer Traffic Safety Awareness Campaign for the upcoming 12th Annual Rockland Music Fest, scheduled for Saturday, September 12th of this year. Osa stated that this year's proceeds for this annual festival will be donated to several families who lost loved ones in the vehicle-related accidents in Rockland County over the past several years. Last year's 11th festival welcomed 11 bands on 3 separate stages at Clover Stadium in Pomona, and a total of nearly 1,200 residents and tourists attended the day event. A $5,000 donation was made to Meals on Wheels at the close of the concert. Osa said on a live stream yesterday that this particular year's festival was very near and dear to him. His own father was killed in a car accident when he was 12 years old. He promised to make this an event that helps to reinforce the main theme of the event: show the F down. To learn more about this year's Rockland Music Fest event or apply to perform as a band, visit rocklandmusicfest.com. What a powerful example of turning personal loss into helping others. This is what a community is all about: coming together, remembering loved ones, and using music and events to make a difference. Thank you, Tom. Two Rocklanders area campaigns are moving into general election phase. Nyack Mayor Joe Rand secured the Working Families Party nomination in New York's 38th State Senate District after receiving approximately 61% of the certified primary vote. When he's expected to face Republican incumbent Bill Weber in November in the 17th Congressional District, Republican Congressman Mike Lawler renewed his request for multiple televised debates with Democratic challenger Kate Conley. Lawler proposed 6 debates or forums so voters could compare the candidates before Election Day. Any debate schedule would require agreement by both campaigns and participating media organizations. Now, no matter what your political views, an informed community is a stronger community. Election affects all of us. The voters deserve the opportunity to hear directly from the candidates and understand the issues. Clarkstown Director of Engineering and Facilities Management has been placed on paid administrative leave after raising concerns about billing connected to a town energy performance contract. Michael Giastasio alleges the action was retaliation after he reported what he described as nearly $594,000 in unsupported labor billing involving Siemens and work at the Mayor Mark Woods playground in New City. Giastasio says payroll supported approximately $85,850 in field labor, while the contractor had billed the project's full $680,320 labor budget. Town officials reportedly began reviewing omissions of Giastasio's financial disclosure forms. The town attorney did not respond to the Business Journal's request for comment. Now, whenever questions come up involving taxpayer dollars, transparency and accountability are important. Residents deserve answers and a clear understanding of what happened. Residents will have opportunities this summer to comment on major Rockland County proposals that have already been identified as potentially affecting the environment. The project includes 454,000 square warehouse of former landfill in West Hamstra. Now that's 454,000 square foot warehouse on a former landfill in West Hamstra. The consolidation of 16 Clarkstown tax lots for several large warehouses and a Ramapo proposal involving 562 residential units and 100,000 square feet of commercial space. Each project received a positive environmental declaration requiring developers to examine possible environmental harm, alternatives, and mitigation measures. The West Hamstra proposal alone would include 76 truck bays, and round-the-clock operation. Several other substantial property sales are bringing new investments and redevelopment plans to Rockland County. An affiliate of Professional Disposables International purchased a 54-acre industrial property on Route 303 in Tapan for $79 million. The 337,000 square foot building is expected to support storage, distribution, and additional manufacturing capacity. A former Muncie Girls School sold for $4.64 million and has approvals for 12 condominium units. And an automotive property at Route 59 and Saddle River Road changed hands for $10 million, while a Spring Valley Retail Plaza sold for $2.9 million. Some projects remain subject to local approvals and previous raised planning concerns. Now, development is a major part of Rockland's future, but so are questions about traffic, infrastructure, and how these projects actually affect our neighborhoods. That's why public input in community like yours, voices matter. To the next story, the proposed expansion of DataBank's Orangeburg data center will undergo a more extensive environmental review. The Orangetown Planning Board unanimously issued a positive declaration under the State Environmental Quality Review Act for a proposed 77,862 square foot expansion on Corporate Drive. That decision requires the developer to prepare a full environmental impact statement. Residents and environmental organizations have raised concerns about electricity consumption, diesel generations, noise, lighting, air quality, and the property's proximity to Lake Tapan. Databack says it reduced the expansion size, removed the planned electrical substantiation, and design measures to limit noise, lighting, and stormwater impacts. This is an example of why environmental reviews are so important to us here. Growth and technology bring important keys to protecting our environment, and quality of life must remain part of the conversation. Now, again, growth and technology brings opportunities, but protecting our environment and quality of life must remain part of the conversation. To our next story, Rockland County is expecting to receive an $18.7 million through New York's Child Care Assistance Program for 2026 through 2027 funding year. The allocation represents an increase of nearly 70% over the previous year and about 78% over Rockland's 2024-25 funding level. State officials revised that allocations process to place greater emphasis on recent demand, utilization, and claims activity rather than relying mainly on older funding patterns. The assistance helps eligible families pay for child care, allowing parents and guardians to remain employed, attend school, or participate in training. Local advocates who say additional changes may still be needed to reflect poverty, population growth, and regional child care costs. Now, child care is an issue that touches many families across Rockland, helping parents stay in the workforce, continue their education, and provide for their children strengthens our entire community. That's very important. To our next story, Rockland County has confirmed its first mosquito pool to test positive for West Nile virus this season. The mosquitoes were collected from a surveillance trap in the town of Haverstraw during the week of June 22nd. 66 mosquito pools had been submitted for testing at the time of the announcement, and no human cases had been reported in Rockland during 2026. Health officials advised residents to eliminate standing water, maintain screens, and use mosquito repellent as directed. Now, a good reminder as we enjoy the summer months, taking a few simple precautions around your home and protecting yourself outdoors can help keep our communities safe. To our next story, officials say the Yonkers wastewater facility associated with a recent Hudson River water quality advisory has returned to normal operations, but some public health precautions remain. Rockland residents are being reminded never to drink untreated river water and to follow posted bleach closures or recreational restrictions. Agencies continue testing the river because bacteria and other contaminants can remain after the wastewater system disruption, even after the treatment facility is restored. Waterfront visitors should check local notices before swimming or participating in activities involving full body immersions. Public drinking water systems use treated water and were not identified in the advisory as a source of concern. Now, the Hudson River is one of our region's greatest treasures. Staying informed and following safety guidelines helps protect everyone who enjoys our beautiful waterways. To our next story, a Rockland County jury has convinced a 55-year-old Chestnut Ridge man on multiple felony charges involving a sexual assault of an 8-year-old girl. Byron Gutierrez Rosell was found guilty following an 8-day trial before a county court. Judge Kevin Russo. The convictions included predatory sexual assault of a child, first-degree rape, first-degree sexual abuse, and endangering the welfare of a child. Prosecutors said the investigation began after the child disclosed the abuse to her mother in September of 2025. Mr. Rossell was remanded to the Rockland County Jail without bail. Sentencing is scheduled for October 7, 2026. Now, everyone listening, this is a very difficult story, but it is important to report. Protecting children and making sure allegations are investigated is a responsibility we all share as a community here in Rockland County. To our next story, 5 people have been arrested following a multi-agency internet crimes against children investigation conducted in Rockland County. Authorities say undercover investigators communicated with suspects who allegedly believed they were speaking with minors and attempted to arrange meetings for illegal sexual activity. The operation involved New York State Police, the Rockland County Sheriff's Office, Ramapo Police, the Rockland County Intelligence Center, the FBI Y Safe Streets Task Force, and the New York State Intelligence Center. The defendants face combinations of felony and misdemeanor charges. Authorities stress that the accusations remain allegations unless proven in court, while investigators continue examining digital evidence for possible additional victims or offenses. Now, protecting children in today's digital world is a challenge for families and law enforcement alike. Now, this investigation shows the importance of cooperation between agencies and the need for awareness when it comes to online safety. To our next story, Orange and Rockland Utilities reports services have been largely restored following severe 4th of July weekend storms. Thunderstorms, strong winds, and extreme heat contributed to outages, affecting more than 47,000 customers across the utilities service territory. At 11:30 p.m. on July 4th, 6,466 Rockland customers remain without electricity. Crews, vegetation specialists, and mutual aid workers steadily reduced that number to just 475. Still a lot, but to 475 by morning of July 6th and to 1:30 by afternoon of July 7th. Now, the storm brought down trees and power lines, blocked roads, and damaged properties, including a new city home and garbage struck by a fallen tree. Now, a big thank you to all the utility crews, emergency workers, and everyone who helped during this storm response. These events remind us of how important it is to have people working around the clock to keep our community here in Rockland safe and connected. To our next story, Rockland law enforcement agencies are reporting 2 additions to their public safety resources. Congressman Mike Lawler highlighted more than $6 million in federal funding secured for the Rockland County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Louis Falco said the money will help pay for equipment and other critical needs, with some resources available for agencies throughout the county. Separately, Ramapo Police Officer Mike Simpson and his K-9 partner Otto completed a 16-week patrol training program. The team is now certified in tracking building searches, evidence recovery, handler protection, and criminal apprehension. Simpson and Otto were previously certified in narcotics detection. Now, our law enforcement officers and first responders put a lot on the line every day here in Rockland. Having the proper resources and training helps them better protect the people they serve. To our next story, the Orangeburg Fire Department is organizing a community blood drive as the region faces what organizers described as a blood emergency. The drive is scheduled for Saturday, July 25th from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Firehouse at 61 Dutch Hill Road. Appointments through the New York Blood Center are preferred, although walk-ins may be accepted if space permits. Donors generally must be at least 17 or 16 with parental consent. Meet weight and health requirements and bring identification. Organizers note that red blood cells and platelets have limited storage lives, requiring hospitals to maintain a continuing flow of donations. Now, this is a great example of neighbors helping neighbors. One donation can make a difference and help someone in our community who needs it. To our next story, Stony Point has concluded its four-night carnival commemorating the 250th anniversary of American independence. The town-sponsored celebration ran from July 8th through July 11th at Patriot Hills, with nightly activities scheduled from 6 until 10. The program included rides, games, food, music, and fireworks. The celebration included a community scavenger hunt, a patriotic home decorating contest, and historical programming highlighting the town's Revolutionary War connections. Stony Point played a prominent role in the war through the 1779 Battle of Stony Point and the actions of General Anthony Wayne. Now, it's great to see Rockland communities coming together to celebrate our history and create memories for families. Events like this are what makes living here so special. And that's all for today's edition of the Rockland News. Thank you for sharing your Monday morning with me. Thank you for your emails and your story ideas. Now stay informed here at Rockland, and I'll see you next week, neighbors. And remember, your news is our news.
Thank you, Robert. And just as a reminder, this podcast is sponsored by the New York Boulders baseball team, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Fiesta Acapulco, Kobe Sushi, Breakpoint Bowling, Whole Shot Bagels, Mad Tea Party Productions, and special thanks to these fine local businesses: Stony Point Massage, North Rockland Chiropractic, the UPS store in West Haverstraw, Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy, 99 Signs, FZ Perfection, and Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. Let's finish up with the weather for the week. So right now it is 76 degrees in Haverstraw. It's going to be a high of 85 with mostly cloudy skies and a chance of rain toward the very end of the day. Tuesday, it's going to be 94 degrees and fully sunny. So definitely bundle up and stay indoors. There are cooling centers across Rockland County. You can find those if you go to the Rockland County government website. Wednesday, same weather, 94 degrees, mostly sunny. So again, try to be indoors and protect yourself from the sun. Thursday, 90 degrees, cloudy. Friday, 86 degrees and mostly sunny. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at a 50 to 70% chance of rain, 85 degrees and 81 degrees respectively. That's your morning news for this Monday, July 13th. And special thanks to all of our sponsors, and we'll catch you next time on Rockland News. Take care for now.